Hi, welcome to another video in our series of high vibrational living in the new consciousness. Today we'll be talking about how to raise our own personal vibration. So we are currently moving into the new consciousness at this time. And when we talk about moving into the new consciousness, what we mean is that the earth is being bombarded by high vibrational energy so that it can help us shift into a different consciousness, a different way of being. And as we start accessing the new vibrations in the new consciousness, we can actually start living in a new way. We can start being in a new way. And this is incredibly exciting. But as the earth is getting bombarded by high vibrational energy, what's happening all around is that the plants, the flora, the fauna, the actual earth is raising its vibration or raising her vibration. And to be aligned with the earth, it'll be also very good for us to choose to raise our own vibration as well, so that we are in complete resonance with the earth. It's very simple for all the flora to embody the new vibration because they draw it up from the earth, they receive it from the air, they get it from the sun. So for people, it is quite difficult for us to shift our vibration without consciously being aware of it. And so this entire video is all about getting us to be consciously aware of our vibration so that we can shift it so that it can be in line and aligned with the new vibrations that are coming onto the earth. So what we're going to give you are practical, grounded tips and techniques to help everybody do this. And we're going to do this in 3 areas of our lives. The first area is our home, our environment, where we live. The second area we're going to talk about is our own person, how we can raise our own vibration, our own person. The third area we're going to talk about is our consumption, what it is we choose to consume. Now, with these videos, especially with this one, it is all about taking personal responsibility for our own individual vibration. It is not about pointing the finger and looking outside. It is not about pointing the finger to big government or big organizations. It is not about that. It is about us taking personal responsibility for our own vibration and to also be able to maintain our own resonance regardless of what's happening out there. Let's talk about the first area we were going to look at, our home. So there are a couple of things that we can do to raise the vibration of our home. And I'm talking specifically about raising the vibration of the environment that we can control. So this includes our home. It includes maybe our apartment, our bedroom. It even includes our cubicles in the office, or maybe even if we have a beautiful room in the office, we can also raise the vibration of our office room. So in this video, whenever I refer to the word house or home, I'm actually referring to the private space that we spend the most of our time in, or a lot of our time in, because this is the space in which that we will need to be completely in resonance with as we are shifting into the new vibration. Let's talk about our house, our private space. The first thing to consider is that it would be quite helpful if our space is in a high vibrational energy setting. So just like we, as in our bodies, we've got energy meridians, and energy chakras as well. The earth also has got energy meridians and energy chakras. So when we talk about the earth's energy points, we talk about portals, vortices. So it's quite helpful if we can find a nice home where a portal is or a vortex is. However, just know that when you have a home near a portal or a vortex, what happens is everything that happens in the house will become intense, will be magnified, because the energy around the portals or around the vortices is quite intense. So if you have a really happy and loving home and you get along really well with all the inhabitants of your home, then that will be magnified within your space. However, if there's constant stress or worry or discord amongst those who live in your space, just know that the energy will also be magnified. That energy will also be magnified, which means that the energy of discord will be the most prevalent in your space. So should you choose to live near a strong earth energy center, it would be very helpful if you know within yourself that you and the inhabitants of your space can remain in a joyful, happy, pleasant state. Of course, once in a while, inevitably, there will be discord. There will be arguments. There will be grief. There will be fear. But as long as we can flush through that quite quickly and let it flow quite quickly and come back to equilibrium or homeostasis quickly, then it really shouldn't be a problem. However, there are only limited homes that are near strong energy centers. So even if your personal space or your home is not near a strong energy center, it's okay. You can still raise the vibration of your home using a few of these methods. One of the methods that we like to use in our home is using crystals. Crystals have individual consciousness, and they are also of the earth. So they will also be absorbing the high energies as the earth is shifting her consciousness, and so it will be able to relay that high vibration around the home. And the way we like to do it is we divide our crystals into 3 separate types. The first type is the foundational crystal. These are crystals that are there to absorb the energy that is coming in. They're like the foundation stones, the energetic foundation centers of your space. These crystals do not have to be big. They just need to be able to be strong enough to be able to hold the energy that is coming in. Here are some pictures of some of our foundational crystals. And then we've got what I refer to as grid crystals. Grid crystals are placed in inconspicuous corners in our house, or they can be run along parallel walls of our house. So what happens with the grid crystals is they channel the energy from the foundational crystals and they enable it to run around the house. So just think about your foundational crystals as transmitters and the grid crystals as the cable that enables the energy to flow through your home. Now, the grid crystals can come in many shapes, sizes, and forms, but you will need more grid crystals than you do foundational crystals. So some of the grid crystals can be this shape, and some of the grid crystals can be this sort of shape. This is the sort of crystal that we use in our home, these Andara crystals, these irregular shaped crystals. And we find that these crystals work really well for us. But just know that different crystals will work differently for different people and different spaces. So you'll just have to check intuitively, or using a pendulum or using kinesiology, which crystals work best for you. And then we've got the third crystal. I call these the functional crystals. So these are the crystals that have a specific use and a specific function. So for example, a rose quartz could be used to just emit a really soft, gentle, loving energy. Amethysts are used to calm people down, to sort of absorb quite a lot of the stress. You can use shungite, which is really good to absorb quite a lot of the EMF radiation. We use little shungite stick-on crystals on our phones and tablets and our laptops as well. So with the functional crystals, you have to determine which crystals would suit you best as well. Which function do you need in your home, and which crystal will suit you best? The three structural, grid, and functional crystals then need to all be charged with your resonance as well. So what we do is, when we purchase these crystals, we normally wash them. Sometimes we wash them with water from either Mount Shasta, when we're in Mount Shasta in California, or there are the springs in Glastonbury, which is quite near to us, and we sort of clean our crystals in these waters so that the crystals are also cleaned in high vibration energy. You can also charge the crystals under full moon, under the sun, with normal water. You can also put the crystals in your hand and just charge it with your own energy too. And once fully cleansed and charged with your resonance, just feel free to put it around your home. Like I said, every crystal has its own consciousness. So what you can do is you can ask the crystal where the crystal would like to be. Again, you can use a pendulum to do this. You can use your own intuition to do this. Some people are very sensitive, so they can tune into the crystal and they can get the information from the crystal. So feel free to do that as well. Some people dowse with dowsing rods. Whatever works best for you. And then place the crystals in the specific spots around your home. Before we move into our house, the first thing we did before even furniture came into the house was for us to set the energy of the home. And only then we chose what furniture went where. But this helps keep the energy of your home in a high vibrational state, in the same vibrational state as the energies that are coming in with the new consciousness. So it is well worth taking the time and the care to do this. The second thing you can do then to maintain the vibrational state of your home is to cleanse it. Like I said, even if most of the time we're in a place of joy and love and homeostasis and calm, sometimes things happen. Life just happens. And sometimes we've got to be human. And this involves having grief, or being angry, or having fear, or having a squabble. Life just happens. And so when this happens, the energy will permeate around our space. So what we need to do is cleanse it. And there are so many ways to clean our house, cleanse the energy of our house. First thing we need to do is to make sure the house is not cluttered. So this is very physical. So the best thing to do is to clear the clutter from your house. Whatever you are not using, whatever that does not resonate with you at this time, make sure you either sell it or give it away or throw it away. Because these items hold on to the old vibration of ourselves, and they keep things in that vibration. They keep the energy at that older vibration. But in order to move to a new vibration, we have to make space for the new vibrations, the new resonance to come through. So decluttering and getting rid of anything that does not resonate with us is an important part of this process. The second thing we can do is to use things like Palo Santo wood or sage to cleanse our home. With Palo Santo and sage, we don't necessarily need to get the actual wood or the leaves to do it. There are some beautiful natural essences out there that we can use as well. And I've seen that some candles have been made out of these essences too. So that can be used too. We can also use sound to cleanse and keep our space in a certain vibrational state. My personal favorite are singing bowls because I just love the sound. It's so crystalline, it's so pure. However, there are also drums, shamanic drums you can use, music, some beautiful music on your radio would work just as well. Sounds, beautiful sounds can also help shift the vibration of your home, because at the end of the day, the sound is also an energy. It is also a resonance. So find an instrument or find a musical outlet or a sound outlet that you can use to help keep your space clear and clean. The environment in which your personal space is in is also very important. In order to be able to tap into the high vibrational energy that is coming in, ideally, it'll be great if your personal space or your home is in nature. So even if your home is not in a countryside full of nature, just make sure that you have a few live plants within your apartment, or in your home somewhere, or in your office space. Because these plants are also trying as hard as they can to capture the high vibrational energy that's coming in. And so when they are near you, they will be able to emit this vibration with you and to you. So this gives you a greater chance of continuously being in this high vibrational state. It would be highly beneficial to minimize the amount of pollution and electromagnetic radiation that you are exposed to as much as you can. In this day and age, that is quite difficult, we know. But there are certain things that we can do to try and minimize it. So like I said, the first thing we can do is to use these shungite crystals. Some people have gone further and they've changed their wireless routers to Ethernet as well. A lot of the people who've chosen to do this are quite sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies, and so they find that it is beneficial for their health to do this. Minimizing pollution is quite difficult when you're living in cities or town centers, but you can easily cleanse your home and yourself of quite a lot of the pollution if we just maintain the vibration of your space as authentically and as purely as possible. So now let's talk about raising our own personal vibration. The first thing we have to do is clear our own emotional baggage. Emotions, just like our physical thought, is energy. So if we go back to quantum physics, they found that when they broke the atom into its smallest particle, what they found is energy that vibrates so quickly it looks like string. So we are basically all made of this vibrating energy. When you break every single aspect of us down, we are this vibrating energy. Let's talk about H2O molecules. H2O molecules is basically water. But when H2O molecules are really tightly packed, it becomes solid and it's called ice. And on the other extreme, when H2O molecules just flow really freely with big amounts of space between them, it's called gas. So in the same way, even with ourselves, our physical body is very tightly, densely packed energy. This energy that vibrates so quickly. Our emotions have the consistency of water, where it's a little bit more free-flowing, but still there is substance. And our spiritual aspects, our soul, is like gas, where it's really free-flowing, really light, and very, very subtle. So when we're talking about our own personal resonance, our physical body has to be aligned with our emotional bodies and our thoughts and our spirit. So in order for our personal selves to grow and to adopt the new vibration, it is so important for us to clear anything that keeps our vibration low, that keeps our vibration a little bit dense. And one of the big aspects of that, our emotional self and our mind self. With our emotional self, if we are feeling any sort of grudges, or if we continuously feel hurt, or if we only see things that make us feel anger or outrage or make us feel pain, these are indicators that there is something within ourselves that need to be worked on so that we can release the dense emotion and shift our vibration to a state of balance, to a state of homeostasis. This also involves us shifting our mental constructs. Our mental constructs and our belief systems have been constructed and conditioned within us ever since we were children. We adopt a lot of cultural conditioning from our parents, and we go to school and we get educated, and we also adopt a lot of knowledge or belief systems as well. And so one of the ways to be able to shift our belief systems is to continuously question our own mental constructs, our own belief systems. Sometimes this is very difficult to do because our belief systems are like caged around us and we are inside the belief system. And it comes as a shock to us sometimes when we meet someone with a completely different belief system. And this is where if we judge or we remain close to another person's belief system, this is where the whole construct of duality occurs, because we are not able to open our cage and to meet in the middle. Instead, what we do is we remain inside our cage and they remain in their cage, and then it becomes us and them. But we are shifting to the new consciousness at this time. And as the earth is being bombarded by so much energy, what's happening is a lot of the constructs, the fabric of consciousness that we have constructed are being shaken. That fabric is being shaken. We have an opportunity to question a lot of our mental constructs at this time. And for me, this is an opportunity because we take a lot for granted. And to be able to do that, we just have to detach from what's happening and observe it as though you're observing it like a third party and question. Question those mental constructs. Question those belief systems. Are my beliefs really right? Are my beliefs really accurate? Does the other person not have a point? And by doing this, what we are doing is we are questioning our belief system, and that cage that we've built around us will grow and expand or dissolve and fall. But when those two happen, what happens for us is that we can receive more information, we can receive more guidance, we can receive high vibrational way of being. And that is another way then for us to shift our own personal vibration. And as we are shifting and clearing our own personal vibration, it is so important to honor our resonance, honor our vibration. Sometimes when it comes to honoring our vibration, we also need to honor those that we hang out with. Sometimes we may not feel comfortable in a particular job, or we may not feel comfortable with people in our circles, with specific people in our circle. It just feels so uncomfortable. There is no need for falling out or for squabbles. The reason why we feel this discomfort is because there is a dissonance between our vibration and the other's vibration. And so there is no need for judgment. But when two types of vibration are not compatible, it's just difficult to stay in each other's space. So what is needed is a moving away, so that this vibration will be attracted to what it's comfortable with, and this vibration will then be attracted to what it's comfortable with. So when it comes to people and places and jobs, we will attract, as long as we honor and we are aligned with our resonance, we will attract people that are in resonance with ourselves. We will attract work that is in resonance with ourselves. And the more we honor our resonance and stay with those who are completely in resonance with us, the more we will embody the high vibration energy. They'll be able to understand our language. They'll be able to understand what we say. Everything just flows with ease and with comfort. The work is us shifting our own vibration and honoring our own vibration. Let's segue then into the third way that we can raise our own personal vibration, and that is through what we consume. We have choices. In our everyday lives, we make choices. We make choices of who we're going to be with. We make choices of where we live. We make choices of our personal space. Even if we feel like we're obligated to do something, we are actually choosing to meet that obligation. So we always have choices. So we have choices to consume and to bring into vibration anything and everything that we feel is right for us. So when it comes to our physical body, we have the choice of what we consume. We can then choose to consume high vibrational food. We can choose to grow food in our garden and follow all the tips and techniques that Andy will be giving in one of his videos about high vibration gardening. We can choose to consume organic food, or we can also choose to consume the more genetically modified foods, or the foods that have more chemicals in them from processing. It's entirely up to us. But in order to maintain and raise our own personal vibration, it is important to eat what is absorbing the high vibration energy that is coming onto the earth naturally. And that is natural food that we can either grow ourselves or consume more organic food. Now, I know a lot of people say that organic food is a lot more expensive, and this is true. However, I want to draw your attention to something that I heard on Oprah about 30 years ago. She had a nutritionist on her show, a dietitian on her show. And I remember him saying this. He said in the 50s, people would spend about 20 to 25% of their income on food and about 5% of their income on medical needs and medicines. But in the 90s, when I was watching this program, he said people had shifted their spending habit, where they were spending 5% of their income on food and about nearly 45% of their income on healthcare and on medication. So why do you think this is happening? In the 50s, there was more natural food available. In the 90s, there was more genetically modified foods and more chemical-based foods that people started to consume. So why don't we just go back to eating naturally? Spend a little bit more of our income on organic food and reduce our income on medication and medical services. Another reason why I think it is in our highest interest to eat high vibrational natural food is because of calories. Our bodies need nutrients. And when we eat nutrient deficient foods, we then crave more food because our bodies are not getting the right amount of nutrients. So as we consume less nutrients, we are also consuming more calories. But when we start eating nutriently efficient foods or foods that are high in natural nutrients that our body needs to survive and to sustain itself, we then will start reducing our caloric intake. We don't need to eat as much. We don't need to consume as much. And so that will help manage our health in the long run. And then we also have to consider our mental and emotional consumption. What are we putting into our mental sphere? What sort of information are we getting? What sort of information are we getting from social media, from the media? What programs are we watching? What sort of discourses are we going to? What sort of workshops? When we talk to our friends, what are we talking about? Every time we have an interaction that enables us to get some information, we are engaging our mental constructs. So we need to then choose what we want to consume mentally as well. And then there is also the emotional side. We need to consider how emotionally healthy it is for us to be in the environment or the people that we are with. And once we ascertain this, we can then make choices and make decisions as to where we can be and where we can go and who we interact with that gives us emotional vitality. Sometimes our bodies are our greatest allies in helping us decide this. When we contract or when we feel a tightness in our bellies or in our chests, our body is saying that it is trying to protect itself from harm, that it's closing itself off from this particular vibration. And so what our body is saying is that we need to minimize our exposure to that particular stimulus, whether it's a person or environment or something that we're consuming mentally. But when we are in an expansive state and our body opens up its chest and our solar plexus feel really relaxed and our shoulders feel really relaxed and we feel like we can breathe, that is our body's way of showing us that this is in resonance with us. This works for us. And as long as we can honor the signals that our body gives us, then we will be honoring our own resonance. I hope you've enjoyed this video of raising our own personal vibrations. So keep honoring our own personal alignment. Keep honoring our own personal resonance. And that will help us move into the new consciousness with so much more ease and comfort. And I can tell you that it is so worthwhile when we do this, when we embrace a new way of being in the new consciousness. What doesn't resonate will just drop away. It's like all our burdens and baggage will just fall away. And it is about honoring the resonance of our soul, not so much our ego. But we will leave that for another video. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope that it's been helpful. And I will see you in the next video. And if you would like to subscribe to get more videos, please don't forget to press the subscribe button below. Thank you.